As women, we know there's nothing like the bond of female friendship, right? On this Valentine's Day, we're going to take a look at the positive impacts our girlfriends have on our overall well-being.
And it is Valentine's Day, a day about women coming together and celebrating each other.
We're joined by author and friendship expert Shari Leid, who's fresh off a journey across the country where she broke bread with women in every single state. I love this concept.
It was amazing. Women of all ages, races, economic levels, education levels. I learned so much from every meeting.
This is so cool, and you stay in touch with them now, but how did you come up with this idea, and how did you find these women?
Well, I wanted to travel the states. I never had. I thought, well, what would make this interesting? I could visit monuments. Not interesting, sorry. But people make places interesting.
Yes.
And so I thought, well, how about if I met a stranger in every state and shared a meal with her? And so I started on this venture, met 27 on my own, like people that like
just
right
randomly?
Now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, you know, we met today, so then I contact you and say, hey, can we sit down? I'm coming to your state. And then I reached out to friends saying, I have these states left. Who do you have for me? They got their aunts, their grandmothers, you know, their college roommates. And then I had 13 states left. Went on the internet, looked for women business owners. I figured then they're established, and sent them basically all of my information. So they wouldn't think I was absolutely crazy. And some of them were a little hesitant at first, but that's how I got them. And no one stood me up.
Well, that's amazing too.
That is amazing.
So talk about, you know, I mean, I look back at my life, and female friendships are so important. Not just to have a friend, but emotionally, mentally, your mental health, being able to talk about even a relationship you're in with a man. You need your girlfriends, right? Like,
absolutely.
To be able to do that. What did you learn along this journey?
Well, I learned, so for female friendships, they're important because they're our stress response.
Yeah.
Where you've heard of fight or flight. Women tend to, and it could be because we're socialized this way, but we're wired this way to tend and befriend is a theory. So when we're under stress, we tend to our children and we befriend and look for female support. So on this journey, I learned from meeting with all these different women, not only their life stories about friendships, but also these little meetings, even if we met for just 2 hours, continuing to stay in touch, and women at different ages, we continue to build these friendships, and actually they've been some of my lifeline this year as, you know, as I've been going through different twists and turns that life brings.
It makes a huge difference to have support. What is your tips for people who, you know, have to raise kids and they're working full time and they have errands and they're just trying to get through the day and maybe are not prioritizing friendships in general, especially female friendships? Yeah,
especially those younger years, right, when you're busy with those little kids. It's intention. You have to make time for that face-to-face. But also the online, the texting, that preserves that face-to-face when you can't do it as much. And today is a great opportunity. Valentine's Day, I would challenge everyone to reach out to like 3 friends, you know, a longtime friend, a newer friend maybe, and an everyday friend, just to tell them how much you appreciate them.
Well, I often, you know, I think about, there are just so many women from each part of my life, right? Like you're talking about, that all contribute in different ways. I'm sure you learned that along the way too, that you need, somebody will say like, who's your best friend? I'm like, well, I have 10. I have one from middle school, I have one from, you know, right now. And it's like, how, have you learned that too?
Yes, and you know, these friends, they help you in different ways, right? I have my friend that you know, is helping me right now look at cars, for instance. Another friend that's good at finances. Another one that has a child that's similar to mine. And as you grow through life, and what I learned on this travel, I met with a woman who was in her 20s. I didn't think I had somebody that much younger than me. And I sat down, I learned so much from her that I thought, okay, I can't write off the younger generation because she teaches me so much about what's going on now and how this younger generation is different than mine and how to communicate. I met with a woman who's 93 years old. She's constantly making friends. I thought, okay, that's the secret of life. Continue to make friends as we get older. So.
That's amazing. I love this project. It's so fascinating. It's so interesting to hear your insight. Thank you very much for joining us today, and I hope you have a big reunion with everyone.
We're planning to, actually, we're having a Valentine's Day Zoom reunion. These women don't know each other, but they're meeting this way.
And who knows where those relationships will lead, right, in the future.
Well, I love that we have a new friend in you now, too.
Yes,
Shari,
don't be surprised if I call you for a meal.
Hey, I'll always eat. Thank you so much. And for more information, information on